welcome. Welcome back to Lady T. Today is another book review, and today I'm going to review the book of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Let me tell you right now that I didn't like it one bit. So, welcome, and we're going to start a review. If you haven't read it, the book itself, let me start off by telling you about the book. Because a lot of people will know the story from other people telling them or from seeing it on TV shows or in movies, but it is a little bit differently. The story in the book is different from what I expected because of what I had seen in movies and heard from friends. Because what I expected was to read a story about a monster, the monster of Frankenstein was created, and that he would go on a rampage, and that he was just your typical monster, not able to communicate, maybe misunderstood, but that he would go on a rampage in a town that was set in the 1700s or even earlier. But the story in the book isn't at all like that. The story is about a man, Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein, who creates the monster made from body parts of several people, and that is where the comparison really ends, because the Frankenstein monster does go out and kill people, but it is set in a different time period, and the monster is quite intelligent because Frankenstein doesn't really acknowledge his existence. He, for some parts of the story, just ignores actually that he exists. Because the monster kills his brother, I think it is, or one of his friends. And then he just goes home and he trying to deal with the drama that he actually created something that it was supposed to be dead, and that it probably likely killed one of his loved ones. He goes home to deal with all of that, and he kind of ignores the monster that is now running rampage in the city. But there aren't a lot of deaths. At some point he does go after the monster, and he finds there are so many chapters, and the monster just keeps on going about what he experienced, and he wants Frankenstein to create a female monster for him so that he isn't alone anymore. And of course Frankenstein is afraid that they are going to go on a rampage together, that the monster of Frankenstein is going to find a piece that he thinks a wife will bring him. And I just didn't like that monster. I wanted a monster who was unintelligent and just went on a rampage, and not one that is capable of thinking and manipulating. And I don't know, it was just so boring that he was trying to find a life of his own, I think. Because to me that made it feel like this wasn't a horror story but a thriller. And yeah, if it was a horror, then I would have liked it to be set in a different time period and just on that rampage that I was expecting, because this was so boring to me. It felt like for chapters on end, nothing was really happening. And in the beginning you have 3 or 4 letters from a captain who finds Frankenstein after the pursuit of the monster. He is somewhere on the ice, and then the captain of the letters finds him. But the captain has nothing to do with the story other than finding Frankenstein and writing down his story. It was so completely useless, especially because the first 2 or 3 letters don't even mention Frankenstein. It was so useless, and that was the same with the chapters about the monster explaining where he had been in the months that Frankenstein didn't know where he was. It was so boring to just keep reading about what he had done. I wasn't interested in it. I have to admit that I didn't really read those chapters. I kind of started scanning through them and just to grasp the kind of what she was trying to say, but it was just so incredibly boring that I just couldn't read it. There were nights when I had trouble sleeping, and then I picked up this book because I knew that with I didn't have to finish one page and I would fall asleep. It was so incredibly boring to me. Mainly, like I said, because I expected something differently. It just didn't meet my expectations. And it says here on the back side of the book that it is a very famous gothic horror story, but I think it is more of a thriller because there is more psychological drama going on and there isn't a real monster. Or at least the monster of Frankenstein, to me at least, isn't a scary being. It is something that is capable of thinking, and that's why to me it feels more like a thriller. But who am I to judge? So yeah, it was a short review, but these are my opinions. If you do like it, then let me know why you love this book. I realize that it is one of the classics, and there's just this thing that I'm not getting about the story. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to reread this one, and I wouldn't give it to anyone on their birthday, because it is just, I really don't like it. I'm not even sure if it deserves a spot on my shelf. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the book Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye bye.